Okay. Hey, babe, they're having a sale on Pennywise Pops. Can I get one?
No, you get another pop and I'm divorcing you.
I don't have the problem. You have the problem. It Chapter 2, as of me filming this, is 1 month away. We have 1 more month, guys, until we finally get to see Pennywise the Clown back on screen being as ruthless as possible. And with it being 1 month away, we actually have ton more new footage out there to explore and decode to see what might be happening in this movie. Also, some little tidbits and details about the movie that are kind of interesting, and why not talk about them? So please make sure you're hitting that like button and consider subscribing if this is your first time on the channel. But let's just dive into it with the first piece right here. Now we're gonna have to keep this kind of on the low, guys, because, well, we could get taken down for this. But I mentioned in a previous video how if you bought tickets to see the first It Chapter 2 that came back in theaters on August 3rd and August 6th, you would be treated to 8 minutes of footage from the new movie. I, of course, being a big Pennywise fan, had to be there for it, so let me go ahead and tell you exactly what goes down in this scene. So it was the Chinese restaurant scene, the scene I was most excited for, and I'm glad they didn't give away the whole scene in the theater. If anything, it was really the build-up, but basically the scene is set up with all the characters meeting at the restaurant. They're all having a good laugh, reuniting. It was really cool to see that done.
Same Colby from search class. You too, Beverly? Hang tough, new kid on the block.
Wow. You two look amazing. What the happened to me? Come on, hey, man. Richie.
Yeah. Part of me feels like the scene was still cut up because it was awkwardly cut. But after some chatter, it leads to Mike going ahead and getting down to business for why he called them there. He begins talking about Pennywise and how he thinks he has come back, and even has a book with a bunch of information of Pennywise. And the interesting part here is all the other characters sort of are unfamiliar and have forgotten about Pennywise. Now, if you've read the book, this is something kind of common, that once you leave Derry, you kind of leave behind the trauma. But because Mike is the only character that stayed behind, he remembers everything that went down. Mike just continues on talking how Pennywise is for sure back and they have to stop him because they all made a promise. The remaining Losers Club just give him an odd look and think, way to bring down the mood, and then they get to opening their fortune cookies. Each one of them opens up a fortune cookie and it only has one word in each of the cookie. And this is actually such a great scene that me describing it, I will not be doing it justice, but each one of them has a word. From memory, the words were guess, could, it, not, and cut. And it's basically about 30-40 seconds of these characters just arguing of the correct order it should go in. And while it is both funny, it is also very terrifying of like, what is it trying to tell them through these fortune cookies? And Beverly holds the key to complete the sentence that it was trying to tell them, which was guess Stanley could not cut it. And spoilers if you don't already know, Stanley is one of the very first characters that does not make it back to Derry because he is so frightened at the thought of Pennywise coming back, he offs himself. And the final shot of this scene is a CGI bird popping out of one of the fortune cookies. So like I said, I'm very happy with this scene. It definitely gave off real creepy, suspenseful vibes. Part of me felt like I was already watching the movie, and once it cut to black, I was like, no, Pennywise, come back. And I'm also happy they didn't give away the whole scene. I am kind of disappointed that it was a CGI bird in there. I did like how the original movie used some practical effects in there, but my mind is just racing and aching that I have to wait 1 month to see how that scene finishes out. And not even just that, how the whole movie is gonna play out. From there, we've gotten a few more snippets of footage through TV spots online. One foreign trailer shows Richie being attacked by the Paul Bunyan statue. He's sitting on a bench and the statue just takes his axe and tries to smack him down with it. In the book, that statue plays sort of a big role in the movie, so it's cool that we're gonna see that play out. Who knows if this is actually happening around the public, or if this is one of those situations where only Richie can see it going down while everyone else around him ignores it. We also have this creepy trailer of Pennywise talking to a little girl that we've gotten in the first trailer, the one that he drags under the bleachers and lures in to be one of his victims.
Why are you crying?
No one wants to play anymore. Play a game with me, would you? On the count of 3. 1.
It It's very reminiscent to how he got Georgie, basically telling this little girl, I have no friends, no one wants to play with me, and taking another sweet bite out of a child. Oh, Pennywise, how we love you. But again, I just love this little snippets of footage because it just shows how much more ruthless It Chapter 2 is going to be compared to the first movie, how Pennywise is not going to hold back in this movie, and if we got a kid's arm being bit off, I can only imagine what's about to happen to this little girl. And last story here that I thought was kind of interesting and wild that it's actually going to be happening, but they did announce that they will be digitally de-aging the younger cast for the second movie. Now we know the kids have come back for the second film, and of course it's been about 2 years since they were last on screen, and kids tend to grow up fast, but it just blows my mind that they're actually going to de-age them. I think a lot of us would have forgiven if they just sort of looked a little bit older. It's not that big of a deal. We know how time works. But the fact that they're actually going to spend the moolah to de-age Finn Wolfhard's face just shows how much they're putting into this movie just to make it perfect for us. Also to let us know that the kid's role is not going to be minor in this movie, so if they're de-aging them, they have something big planned. They wouldn't just spend millions of dollars for 30 seconds of a kid being on screen. But like I said, I feel like it's unnecessary, because I wouldn't have been that stingy of a... That kid's not the same age from the first movie. Let me get out of here. Where's the concession stand? But that is just all I have right now for an It Chapter 2 update. Are you guys excited for this movie? You can damn sure well bet I'm excited. I spent the time to build this pyramid. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Any predictions, any ideas of what might go down? Because there are set to be some surprises in this movie. Anything and everything, you guys let me know down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.
Hey, you got married? Yo, why is it so fucking funny, dickwad?
What, like a woman?
You, bro.
You! Alright, what about you, trash mouth? You married?
There's no way.
I got married.
Richie, I don't believe it.
When?
You didn't hear this?
No.
You know I got married?
No.
Yeah, no, me and your mom are...